Hello everyone, my name is Jason Parker and welcome back to this channel about magic! Wow, I haven't done one of those in a while. Yeah, in fact, it's been a while since I made a reaction video. Well, at least for Fool Us. I did make a reaction video to David Blaine's Ascension, but it got blocked. All around me are familiar faces. At any rate, season 7 of Fool Us is having somewhat of a hiatus right now. There's like a 5-week gap where there's no new episodes. I took this time to try something new. If you've seen my last video, Magic with Friends, I thought it was a great success and really a fun time. If you haven't seen it, you should check out that video here. Or is it over here? At any rate, I thought I would use this time to jump back to season 2 of Penn and Teller Fool Us and react to a magician there, Jon Armstrong, from season 2, which was something like 5 years ago, I think. But first, I want to show you a little magic trick. Here I've got what appears to be 2 ordinary rubber bands, and if I put them together, just like this, you can see how they're linked. They can't come off the sides, the top, the bottom, but if you find the sweet spot and you just rub, just like that, they come straight through each other. It's a miracle. I mean, a magic. Anyways, if you'd like to learn that magic trick yourself, I made a tutorial on my Patreon. All you gotta do is go to Google and type Jason Parker Patreon. You'll find it. It's easy. And you can help support this channel at the same time. So yeah, check that out if you would like to. At any rate, in this video, I'm reacting to Jon Armstrong, an American magician who's gonna be performing a piece of magic that I think is very interesting. I did a little preview, and I understand he's going to be performing this really cool effect using a miniature plunger. I remember many years ago seeing a video trailer for this. They were going to be selling this magic trick. It's called like the tiny plunger, and it was so cool. It was something where he was picking up different amounts of cards, or he was like finding the spectator selection, but it's like the little plunger was doing the magic, and it just seemed impossible, and it really kind of blew my mind. So that's really cool to see that he's going to be performing this effect on Fool Us. I'm excited! At any rate, and with further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the reaction.
Hi, I'm Jon Armstrong, and I'm originally from Orlando, Florida. I am dyslexic, and school was impossible for me. But then I discovered comics, and I could really enjoy them. Growing up, I always wanted to be a superhero. Actually, I still want to be a superhero. One of my proudest achievements was that I was able to co-write my own comic book. It's about a magician like myself. Hold out your hand. I'm attracted to magic and comics for the same reason.
Wow, I didn't know that about the comic book. I mean, I've heard of Jon Armstrong before, but I didn't know he did that. All I know him from is releasing magic effects that he sells to other magicians. And I believe he might have even been part of the Real Magic, like, video magazine, if I'm not remembering incorrectly. Let's check that. Jon Armstrong, Real Magic. Yeah, that's right. He was on issue 5 of Real Magic. So I'm not crazy. I just saw it so long ago I was beginning to forget. Proceeding.
They're both these amazing sort of art forms that allow the author, the creator, to give their audience a world they never thought was possible.
I'm excited.
This next performer became the resident magician at Disney World when he was just 20 years old, which means we know he can fool a giant mouse and a talking duck, but can he fool Penn and Teller? Please welcome Jon Armstrong.
Wow, I didn't know he worked at Disney World too. Lots of credentials here.
It's an honor to be here. I was wondering if I can get you two gentlemen to come and join me up here. And Jonathan, you seem nice enough.
I'll go here. You go.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I'll go here.
It's actually not me that's here to fool you. It's this little guy here. It's a suction cup attached to a tiny dowel rod. It is adorable. What I'm going to show you is the most impressive thing you'll ever see in your entire life. Seriously, from this moment on, your lives are going to go downhill. When I do this for little kids, I feel bad. All right, watch. Thank you. All right. Just kidding. But you can see the little suction cup, you know, that it's only supposed to pick up one card at a time, right? That's how it works. But if you give it a little bit of a rev, watch. Totally works. You guys just see this every day? Is that the idea? Okay, here, check this out. Check this out. Make sure there's sticky tape, nothing like that on them. Check out the plunger. Make sure it's a perfectly ordinary tiny plunger that you'd find in any Barbie dream home. Yep. Yes, okay, good. Take it back. But we're in America. What do we care about? Bulk.
Oh yeah, by the way, since this is season 2 of Fool Us, they moved from filming in London to filming it in America. From a city to a country. I'm assuming they're filming it in Las Vegas. But yeah, I don't fully remember this routine because it's been so long since I originally saw the advertisement for this effect. But it was something like this, and I just love this idea. I remember thinking I should probably buy it and learn it, but I never did. Shattered dreams. Back to the magic.
You can do it, buddy. You can do it. Oh, tiny plunger.
Magnets?
Now, the tiny plunger, he is educated, he is learned, he understands things. I'll show you what I mean by that. Jonathan, give me a number between 10 and 20.
15.
15. Again, ready, watch. Please count those out loud down to the table.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15, exactly.
No way. I mean, that's just not possible, right? Unless they did some tricky camera cutting where they removed some footage, but it looked like they did not. It looked like he was holding the cards, he did a cut or something, and then he asked him how many cards. Jonathan said 15. And he just put the cards right onto the table. He didn't do anything. At least that's what I saw. So to me, I do not know how that works unless like he got lucky with 15 and if he'd said a different number, he would have had to do something different, but 15 just happened to be perfect. I mean, that's one possibility, but yeah, I completely fooled at that point. I don't know how he did that 15 cards thing.
Tiny plunger. Tiny plunger.
Tiny
Now,
plunger.
he just doesn't understand card quantity. He understands card identity, the difference between one card and another card. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If you could just touch one of those for me, please. Just grab it right out.
Okay, sure.
Excellent. And what's going to happen, just take the card and show it around, and actually show it, but I'm going to have to hide the plunger so he doesn't see. Everybody see the card? Yes? Good. I'm going to put the plunger sleeve back and don't let him see.
Make sure I look at it.
Yeah, okay. And then place it back inside there for me. Good, okay. The tiny plunger will now memorize the entire deck of cards. He has done so. Please whisper the name of your card to the tiny plunger.
That's awesome.
Most people just pick it up, but that was pretty awesome. But the tiny plunger now knows what the
didn't want
card
to touch
is,
it.
and he knows the order of the deck, so he should be able to do the following.
Oh, come on!
That's so cool, isn't it?
I love this act. I love it.
One last time, because I don't want you walking out of here thinking I'm doing this. It's not me, it's him.
I know it's him.
Yeah, it's him. I'm his manager, but nothing else. So I'll prove it. If you wouldn't mind, Teller, please touch a card. Take it right out of there. Thank you. And now, again, I'll hide my eyes so I can't see anything.
But the plunger's looking right at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he saw it. Sorry. Here, hide the plunger in your hand so he can't see it. Excellent. And just go ahead and just reach in there for me and grab out a new one.
I love the fact how he adapted his presentation right there to Penn's remark that the plunger saw it. You know, it wouldn't really be important. He could just be like, haha, and keep going because Teller already selected a card. But that was really cool that Jon chose that moment to be like serious about it. Like, oh yeah, you're right. The plunger did see it. Like, let's have him pick a different one. You know, just to take it in a serious way makes it even more fantastic and hilarious at the same time. Back to the performance.
Got it? Excellent. All right, show the card around, everybody. I won't look. Good. Excellent. And you can just place it back inside here wherever you like. And that's where you wanted it, right? I'm not changing its location. I'm not even going to shuffle. May I have it?
Yeah.
Last time, the plunger had to be spoken to know the card. You don't speak as much. So in this case, the plunger, yeah, you'll read your mind. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Concentrate.
He knew exactly what to do.
Concentrate. Hold on. Got it. It goes away in about a week. All right. Now, he's a sentient plunger. He knows what he wants. So you're going to do this for me, not me. Plunger, you're like this. You're going to go bonk, 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 bonk. And when you do that, he will cut, hopefully, back to directly to the card.
Tiny plunger.
That was quite something, wasn't it? Holy moly.
Before we hear what the Penn and Teller are going to say, let me go ahead and give you my thoughts. One thing I was thinking is at that moment when he tells Teller to put the card back in and he says that's where you want it, the camera angle switched so it was kind of behind at a weird angle and I couldn't really see what he was doing with his hands. Although, even from that angle, I don't see how he could have manipulated or changed the position of the card. Well, I don't know. It just seems very impossible and very fair. So I have to imagine if something were to happen, maybe then would have been the moment. Secondly, I want to touch on that thing I said earlier about Jon, how he was just adaptive and completely flexible to change up the routine a little bit regarding Penn's remark. I've seen other magicians who won't be named, like they have their specific routine. They have their jokes they want to say. And anything that the spectator does, like to try to have fun and interact, they're kind of like, and then they just proceed like a robot to do the thing they wanted to do. So anyways, I just thought it was wonderful how Jon took Penn's remark and then adapted the routine to like be like, yeah, let's take that into account. You know, the whole thing just felt more fun like that. Thirdly, I need to learn this effect. I love this effect. This is amazing. I just love the whole idea. And it seems very impossible. Like, I don't know how he's doing it. Side note, I'm fooled. I mean, if I look at it from like really trying to break it down point of view, I guess, you know, you could imagine a plunger would take one card. How does it get multiple cards? Well, I don't know. I guess like the surface tension, like if you have several pieces of paper together and you try to just pick them up, because of the airflow, like multiple of them might just come together, especially if you're picking it up quickly, like it would be impossible, or they wouldn't have time to drop, you know, if you were just picking one up, like it would suck it with it. Listen, I'm not a scientist, obviously, but I kind of have a feeling for how that would work based off of my experience in the real world with other normal everyday objects. So I could think there'd be some part of that going on in the magic effect, but I have no idea how he would have had the cards go cut directly to the selection, you know, unless it was some kind of magnets with like a little piece of metal jammed inside of one of the cards. But even then, I don't know if a magnet would be strong enough to go through something like 25 cards reliably. And I definitely don't know how he would be holding the cards. Jonathan would say 15, he would put them down there, and the plunger would cut directly to 15 cards. That, to me, is the most amazing part of all. It reminds me once again of seeing Richard Turner perform at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, many years ago, and he showed me this trick where I would name any number and he would just cut to that exact number. And to this day, I don't know how I did that. So this effect kind of reminds me of the impossibility of that. Okay, those are all my thoughts so far. Let's just go ahead and hear what Penn and Teller have got to say.
Here's the cool thing now. I'm allowed to sit at the table there with the guys, and I could see Penn just like amazed by it, and he was groaning sometimes because you see he was getting. and Teller was laughing all the way and loving every second. I don't think they have the faintest idea yet how you did that. So you're in with a good chance, I think.
Maybe.
Can I touch the plunger?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I want to ask the audience: has anyone ever seen anything quite that small get such a big reaction before? And that really was quite something. Let me ask you something else about yourself, because, and this struck a note with me, you were pretty severely dyslexic when you were young.
That is very true. I'm still dyslexic. I'm extremely dyslexic.
My children were both like that as well. I know it poses a lot of challenges. Did it help or hinder the magic in any way?
I think in some ways it obviously hindered it because of me reading from books. It was very hard. But in some ways, like, it makes me think of the world differently. And that's where weird things like coming up with a plunger card trick, that's all where it came from.
Yeah. Are you ready for me to come to you guys?
There's supposed to be suspense at this moment, but I will say right off the bat, you did not fool me.
Okay.
But that little plunger did. But me. The little plunger fooled me. I also do not know how to say this with enough intensity, but maybe the only original card trick I've ever seen.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Also, the impression you get is you don't really touch the cards. It's the plunger doing all that. And there's something so fair and so wonderful and just so whimsical about the whole thing. The bad news is, about 40 years ago, I teamed up with this guy.
Yeah, right.
And this guy has done very close to a version of that trick. And even though it took my breath away, even though I needed a breather, Teller actually saw me being taken aback and my breath being sucked in, and that gave him a big hint as to how you put the whole thing together. Did not fool Teller. Well, I love this act.
Thank you very much.
Let me step in for just a second, though, because when Penn was looking, I noticed you momentarily, you shook your head, and I got the feeling...
Oh, no. He knows how it works. I'm just extremely honored. This is awesome, and thank you very much for having me here.
What a great routine.
Thank you so much. Jon Armstrong and his tiny plunger, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Jon.
All right, so let me go ahead and give you my closing thoughts about his performance. Wow, I'm surprised he did not fool them. I mean, I remember this effect and how fooling it was to me. I thought for sure he's gonna win. But when Penn started giving the code talk, I heard something that I recognized that I did not expect he would be using in his effect. And actually, after having thought about it a little bit more, understanding Penn's code word, that kind of makes sense. Like, I kind of get it. I still don't know how he got to exactly 15 cards. I feel like he would have had to do something more than just say, what's the number you want, set it down, and use the plunger. I feel like he would have been required to do something more there. So I'm going to go back to my original statement that either there was a part chopped out with the editing, or he just got lucky that Jonathan said 15 and it did not require any further adjustment from there. But yeah, wow, that's actually kind of funny that Penn spoke the code talk so clearly. I mean, laymen won't get it. Like normal spectators won't understand what he's talking about, but I think every magician who heard that will understand what he's referring to. And unfortunately, that kind of just like pretty much tells me how the magic trick works. I was more thinking along the lines of something like magnets, but now I guess not. But anyway, I still feel like it's a beautiful routine, obviously highly entertaining. I think everyone who watched this enjoyed it. And it's so clever, it's so creative, you know? Focusing on that little cute plunger is doing all the magic, like, oh, you're just, like the magician isn't even doing the magic himself. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. It's such a cool effect. It's just, I like it. 10 out of 10, I like it. So anyways, kudos to Jon Armstrong for imagining this wonderful effect. Great performance on Fool Us. I'm sad he didn't win the trophy. I kind of felt like he deserved it, but I guess if, you know, Teller has this encyclopedic knowledge of card magic, that maybe he really wasn't fooled. So fair's fair, I guess. Leave a comment below. What did you think about Jon's performance, and what did you think about the little plunger's performance? And now it's time for Aesop's Fable story time. But first, actually, what did you think about that little magic trick I showed at the beginning? Are you interested in learning it? Are you going to help support the channel and join my Patreon to watch the tutorial? Question mark. Anyways, let's go back to the story. Chapter 101, The Man and the Image. A poor man had a wooden image of a god, to which he used to pray daily for riches. He did this for a long time, but remained as poor as ever, till one day he caught up the image in disgust and hurled it with all of his strength against the wall. The force of the blow split open the head, and a quantity of gold coins fell out upon the floor. The man gathered them up greedily and said, "Oh, you old fraud, you! When I honored you, you did me no good whatever. But no sooner do I treat you to insults and violence than you make a rich man of me." Okay, that's some faulty reasoning there. Right off the top of my head, I'm just thinking faulty reasoning. His connection of the causality is in error. So first off, it's just a man with an image, whatever an image is. I guess it means like, maybe it was some sculpture or something that was like the image of this god. It doesn't really say what it was made out of, does it? Yeah, no, it doesn't say if it was made out of porcelain or wood or anything. He just says the blow split open the head and the quantity of gold spilled out. So anyway, it's just the man and the image, and inside of the image the whole time are the gold coins. Those are the only facts, right? Everything else is subjective. He gets angry at the god and he says, "Ah, you old fraud. When I treat you well, you give me nothing, and when I treat you with contempt, you reward me." But this image wasn't doing anything. It's just like a porcelain statue. That's all it is, with gold coins inside. Yet he creates this reason, his subjective view. I remember reading in a book somewhere, they were talking about we have a reality, and then we have our perception of reality, and our perception is like a map of the terrain. But there was an important reminder in the book to realize that the map is not the terrain. They're actually separate things. You know, different people can have different maps. And this guy's map is drawn with crayons. I'm not trying to make any kind of statement about religion in general at all. I'm not trying to make any comments about that. I'm just saying it didn't matter in this case what he believed. He could have cracked open the statue at any time and retrieved the gold coins. So I think what this fable is trying to teach us is perhaps just what I was talking about, kind of the foolishness of this man to think that because when he was praying in a kind way to the statue that the god didn't give him anything, but when he was angry and destroyed the statue, then he was rewarded. Like, that's the meaning he is creating foolishly, which doesn't necessarily exist in the real world. It only exists in his world because he believes it's true. So what we're learning here is to not make a mistake like that, right? It's easy to come to a false conclusion, so you should really back up and think like, wait a second, did this action I took here really cause this thing? Is this really why this happened? From the outside, it's easy to see that he drew the wrong conclusion. So we should examine our own conclusions as well and make sure they're true, you know? Like, because I took an umbrella outside, is that why it rained? Did I cause it to rain by bringing my umbrella with me? Probably not. It was probably just gonna rain. Okay, better example. I can do better than that. That was a weird example. Here's a perfect example of superstition. When someone says, you jinxed me. You know, like if you're walking with a friend and you say, oh, watch out, be careful, it's icy, you might slip. And then 30 seconds later, they slip and fall down. And they're like, you jinxed me. You know, it wouldn't have happened unless you'd said that. That's kind of like the same thing here. It's not because you said it, and in fact you warned them to be careful, but this person is choosing to make the faulty assumption of causation between you saying it and them falling down. You jinxed me. I don't think so. You should have just listened to me and been careful about not slipping on the freaking ice. Keep it together. So that's all for the Aesop's Fable story time. And thank you guys so much for being here, for watching this video with me, and for smashing the like and joining the Patreon. I really appreciate it. Or if you don't want to do either of those things, another option for supporting the channel is to share this video with a friend. I think that will help. Yes, it will. Wow, I'm feeling rather saucy today. Maybe it's because I haven't made a reaction video in so long. I've got all this pent up sauciness I have to release all at once. At any rate, I hope you guys had a nice September. The fall season is officially upon us. Hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you next time. Yup.